How do you feel about your hometown? I've held on to a lot of anger toward mine for a very long time. I've always loved Newfoundland, broadly speaking, but I kind of hated Mount Pearl. I just came across a single photo that flushed like 95% of that anger away. This was just a regular photo that I totally remember. I just haven't seen it in a really long time. And after seeing it, I don't think I hate Mount Pearl anymore. I've been pretty hard on Mount Pearl for a long time. I wouldn't say that my feelings are irrational. I definitely have like a basis for feeling the way that I do about this place, but I've definitely been hard. And I definitely hang on tightly to the lingering taste that I have of this place from my last year and a half here. The stuff that sits with me, the stuff that left that bad taste in my mouth is nothing compared to what some people go through. Most of it is stuff that many teenagers deal with, like friend issues, a shithead basketball coach. And not to short sell that basketball coach, he really did a number on me, but I'm not trying to say that what I went through was worse than what many teenage kids go through. All I'm saying is that as much as I've always loved Newfoundland, it was a long, long time before I even acknowledged Mount Pearl. You can see in this one photo from my grade 8 class, 3 of my all-time best friends were in my class with me. A couple of other very, very good friends, a bunch of really good guys who I was always friends with. Some girls that I absolutely got along with then and still do to this day. We're not close by any means, but we're still connected on social media and things like that. And I forget how much I actually enjoyed this group of human beings, even though we were we teenagers? Yeah, we must have been 13 or 14 in grade 8. It was a very, very good year. When I see this photo, I remember that. But it's easy to forget when my grade 12 year was so miserable. I was very, very unhappy. It was a feeling that I don't want to get back to ever. I still remember how I felt when I was 17 years old, here in Mount Pearl. I honestly don't know if I've spent this much time in the vicinity of this building since I graduated. I did not have a good time and I didn't want to have anything to do with the place. Drive by all the time, but I don't think I've driven into the parking lot. There's a walking trail just over here. I've definitely walked around here, but I don't know if I've been right here since graduating. So if you're gonna come and do a shot like this, you gotta make sure it's on a Saturday or a Sunday. Some old man with a camera coming up to a high school is not a good idea, but there's nobody here today. It was St. Peter's Junior High now, but it was St. Peter's Elementary back then. Now this is where that picture took place. This is the school that we were at when we got that class picture, that grade 8 picture. And the school is quite different now, but all of the stuff over here is exactly the same. I was in the second floor, the third set of windows, if I remember correctly. Not 100% on that, but no, the second window. It was the second window, definitely. I remember for sure. But these were really happy times. I had a lot of good friends in the school, as I've already discussed, and people that I still keep in touch with. So, this hasn't been all bad. I have these bad memories because when I left Mount Pearl, there was a lot of bad stuff happening in my life. Nothing crazy bad, but things that just soured my experience and soured my memories. But when I saw that picture, I remembered how much I enjoyed grade 8, elementary school. So you have to take a step back sometimes. The most recent things that shape your memories sometimes don't tell the whole picture. So I'm down here at St. David's, probably about a 5-minute walk from where I grew up, the only house I've ever lived in Mount Pearl. And this is a place that I spent a lot of time at. Actually, if you can see that little, I don't know, it's not a gazebo, I don't know what to call it, but that covered area. I got married there in 2018. This park that I'm sitting at right now, they did a lot of work on this over maybe less than 10 years ago, but it's a center city park now. Used to be a soccer field. They leveled the whole area off. The soccer field was raised up a little bit. I'm sitting on where the baseball / softball field was. I played minor soccer, minor baseball in Mount Pearl, and I spent a lot of time on these fields playing those sports. But just over here behind us, I'll show you in a second, is where I spent the most impactful years of my life. It was only, like, when I think about it now, it was a blip on my timeline. It was a couple of years between probably like the summer of grade 4 and the summer of grade 10. And yeah, it just shaped my childhood. And when I think about it, you know, actually, this is where when I talk about a love-hate relationship with Mount Pearl, this is where the love comes from. Playing basketball at the courts at St. David's. And man, oh man, was it ever busy down here with kids of all ages playing basketball in the summer. And I used to come down from sunup until after sundown. Because it was a softball field and the senior men played here, they had lights on the field, and the lights could illuminate 2 of the baskets enough that you could keep playing even after it got dark. There is a playground over there as well. So before I was playing soccer, before I was playing baseball, before I was playing basketball, I was playing in the playground over there, and they updated the playground a couple of years ago, and it's an excellent little playground right now. But all of these things are what kind of drew me to St. David's at different stages of my life for different activities. And now this park that's here is really nice, and it's, you know, just a well-designed space to just go for little strolls or hang out. They do a couple of decorations around Christmas time that are pretty nice. It's just, you know, they've done a great job. This place just is so significant to me in my life. You can tell I have a love for Newfoundland that's very strong, but Mount Pearl is always kind of like pushed aside. Right? It's not the typical Newfoundland town. There's nothing, I think my mom put it best.
Poor old Mount Pearl is not picturesque and it's not historic. But it's home, right?
That's right, it's our home. So.
Yeah.
Really, in a lot of ways, there's nothing special about Mount Pearl. This city could be placed in any province in Canada, a suburb of any city in all of North America, and you wouldn't notice anything unique about it, really. But this photo really reminded me of how happy I was here until I wasn't. I'm not particularly fond of the place in the same way that I love Bonavista or Harbor Breton. You know, there's nothing beautiful about Mount Pearl. But there's a lot of parks and playgrounds and things for kids. I took a stroll just last night with my wife through some of the old paths that I haven't walked through in decades. And every 100 meters or so, there's a slide or a swing set or a soccer field or something for kids to run around and have fun and get some exercise. That makes for a good community. There's a mentality here that I never understood, and when I think about the negatives of Mount Pearl, some of the things that come to mind is the feeling of not fitting in because I'm just not interested in some of the things that a lot of people here are interested in, and that's fair. That's a me problem, right? It's not really a Mount Pearl problem. But all in all, it's not a bad place. I just had such a miserable experience on my way out of high school with a piece of human garbage basketball coach that held a lot of power over me, that I put all of my anger and depression and sadness into one component in my brain, and I've held on to a lot of anger for a very long time. Seems like maybe it's going away now in my old age. I'm telling you, that photo falling out of that picture album really played a big role in that.